Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I am tackling part 3 in our de-winterization process, which is cleaning. I'm going to be doing the entire interior, at least I hope I'm going to get it all done today, of our RV. And the reason that cleaning is so important is not because I'm a neat freak. Trust me, I am not. It's because cleaning is just a part of properly maintaining your RV and can actually impact the longevity of your rig. So I am going to be starting with, this is so backwards, it goes against everything I believe in. I'm going to be starting with the floor today, but there's a good reason for that. We had it inspected about a week and a half ago, and when our guys that do the inspection come inside the rig, they have their work shoes on and they tracked in gritty grime and dirt, and I'm going to clean that up first so that I can put my slippers on, because if you've watched any of our videos, you know we are a shoe-free RV. We do not wear shoes inside. So got to get this floor clean first. Also, this video is not sponsored. These cleaning products that I'm going to show you today are things that I use that work really well for us, and I always like to share with everyone I know when I find something that I think is fantastic. So the first thing I'm doing is, this is one that I did not really use in here last year. It's a Swiffer power jet that has the little, I'm hitting my ceiling, it has the little jets on it that'll shoot cleaning fluid that's in here across your floor. And then these are the mop heads. Now, this is not one I will take on our camping trips. This will be my more of a heavy duty thing. Today is a great example. Want to clean up the grime from the work boots. What I normally take to keep the floor clean when we're on a camping trip is this version of a Swiffer wet mop with this retractable handle, and then your cleaning pad goes on here. And if I have a sample pack that came with it. If you've never seen them, they're not super thick. They're kind of like a little bit thicker than a disinfectant wipe would be, and there's a little scrubbing edge on it. So one more thing to keep in mind when you're cleaning your RV, whatever you're using to clean whichever surface it is, you want to make sure that it's not going to be anything that is harsh and causes damage to those surfaces, because that can impact the lifetime of your appliances, your cabinets, your wallpaper even, and not to mention, of course, the flooring. So always do a test check, always read the packaging and make sure there's nothing harsh in it. You definitely don't want to use bleach anywhere in your RV. And the products I'm using today are ones that I have gone through the process with. I have tested them and made sure that they weren't going to cause any issues, and they haven't, so I can just jump right in with my cleaning today. All right, time to mop. Are you ready for this? Look how dirty that thing is. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do another pass with it. So another thing I would recommend that you get and take with you when you go camping is one of these stick vacs. The one we use is a Shark, but there are companies across Amazon that sell similar products. You want something that you don't need to worry about plugging in. I mean, we do plug it in to charge it if we need to, but I mean, for the sake of not having a cord dragging around behind you as a hindrance, or having to unplug and replug or whatever, this is just so convenient. And it does come apart. This detaches here, and then down at the bottom it detaches. So it's 3 sections, and we just put everything under the bed in that storage area there. Or when we're at the campsite, sometimes I'll just have it along my side of the bed. I sleep over on this side. So it's definitely something that, especially we have dogs, but whenever you're coming in and out, even if you're not wearing shoes, just opening the door, stuff flies in and gets on the floor, and you definitely want to keep your floor clean. If nothing else, when you're camping, keep the floor clean, because especially if you have slides, you have a potential to damage your floor with like the gravel that's sometimes at campsites or Lord knows what else. If you're pulling these slides in and out and there is something underneath there, it's going to put scratches or holes even in your flooring. And I have actually seen pictures of people where it has torn a big chunk out of the flooring. So definitely keep the floors clean. If nothing else, the floors. Next up, I'm doing the ceilings and the walls. Some people think this is overkill, but I think it's a very important part of maintaining your RV. Not only am I keeping it clean and preventing possible further damage from any dirt or stains that might be on the surface, but it also gives me a good opportunity to look everything over closely and make sure there's no water damage from after our winter storage season. So I did discover a hack for doing this, and I'm certainly not the first person to do this. I know there are others that have tried it as well, but what I am using to clean today is my actual Swiffer. This is the one I take with me camping that has the telescoping handle, and I am using the wet mop heads on this. Something important to note before we get started with all of this is whether you're using the Swiffer with the wet mop head or a bucket with cleaning solution and a rag, you want to make sure that you're wringing things out before you put them on your walls. You definitely don't want to have water that is running down the walls or getting behind the seams of your wallpaper. That will cause it to lift. It could cause damage, and another thing it could lead to is mold. So just a damp mop head or rag will be enough to get the job done. Ceiling and floors are done. So now we are going to move on to the external surfaces that appear to be wood, but are not actually wood. They do have wood in them, but the surface area is some type of a laminate. So we don't want to use anything that is harsh that could possibly cause that to lift or discolor. What I use on mine is the Method Daily Wood Cleaner. It's very gentle. It is supposed to remove grease, grime, so it's been great in the kitchen area when I've cooked in there. What I'm doing is I'm spraying it onto this, not directly on the surface. You want to spray it on a rag, a paper towel, whatever. So this is a microfiber cleaning mitt that just fits right over my hand. And I will spray it on the surface, not saturating it, but just giving it like a little bit of dampness, and go around and wipe all these surfaces off. So I have all of the pretend wood surfaces clean, and now I am going to clean the pretend leather surfaces that are throughout the RV with this stuff. It's VLR vinyl, leather, and rubber cleaner, and I'm using this on the dinette seats, the theater chairs, and the valances that are above each window throughout the RV. This stuff does a great job, and it is safe for vinyl, so no issues with using this in the RV over the past 2 years. I can't say enough good things about it. So when you're using this, I spray it on paper towels and then wipe down the surface of whatever I'm cleaning. Another thing that you can use this vinyl cleaner on are the shades. We have those roll shades that are made of vinyl, and I just clean both sides of the shades with this as well. Again, Okay, vinyl is done. So now we're moving on to glass surfaces. So I'm going to do windows and appliances. Before I covered this, I actually used the glass cleaner on the front of that as well. It is a glass front refrigerator. What I use, it's called the pink stuff. It works extremely well. It is not harsh. You are not supposed to use this on marble, wood. There are some other things that are listed on here. Only use it on glass. Glass and like the shiny kind of plastic is what I would use it on. And it does a phenomenal job and doesn't leave any streaks. So I got to do the mirror in the bathroom too. So that's what's next. So I just finished cleaning off the surfaces of our stove with the glass cleaner and discovered that the top to our stove is kind of like dusty and grimy. To clean this, what I do is I take it inside the house and scrub it in the sink because we don't have running water out here in the RV. So while I was inside cleaning off the top of our range, I was distracted by a bright shiny object in the form of an empty dishwasher. And you know what that means. If you don't, I'm going to tell you. It means I can load this up with some of the dishes that I left behind in the cupboards at the end of last season, take them in and run them through the dishwasher. So I am going to do that right now, and then I'm going to finish cleaning the windows. Okay, we're done with the glass cleaner. Now we're moving on to my Method antibacterial all-purpose cleaner. I use this stuff for the counters, the sinks, the shower area. This one has a lemon scent. I know they have a couple other scents, I think, but it's great for cleaning those. And I also leave this in the RV throughout the summer. Anytime I'm cleaning up the kitchen after dinner, breakfast, whatever, this is what I use to get those messes cleaned up. I also want to share with you guys something that we do to help so that the shower cleaning is not such a task whenever it's time to do that. We use this. It's a Method daily shower spray. This one is a peppermint or a spearmint or something. Anyhow, the way this stuff works, last person out of the shower for the day coats the inside of the shower with this stuff once they're done, and like really spray it so that it's running down the walls, and you just let it sit. You don't wipe it off, you let it sit. And what this does is it keeps the water deposits from building up in your shower, so that whenever it's time to actually clean it, it is a much easier task. We use this in the house as well. I can't say enough great things about it. So we also keep a bottle of this with us all summer long, and we use it every day on the camping trip. So worth it. All right, done with the shower, the sinks, and the counters. So we are done with the inside cleaning for now. I will go through and give the floor a once over. You may have noticed I did not do the air conditioning area or these vents that are up here in the ceiling. I am going to do those, but that's for another day. Just going to pop those out, clean them off, and make sure that those are clean so that when we do fire up the AC, it's not going to be blowing a bunch of dirt and dust everywhere. So that wrapped up everything we needed to do here on the inside. But the next step in this process is going to be going through each drawer in each cabinet and making sure those are wiped out and cleaned out, and then restocking everything for the camping season. And that'll be another video. And I almost forgot about the most important part of today, now that we're de-winterizing, and that is to get my dehumidifier set up, because we did make some moisture in here today. For one thing, I was cleaning, and those cleaning products put moisture in the air, but also I'm in here breathing, and just that alone can put moisture in the air of your RV. So over winter, we used Damp Rid, And I had that in here. It did a great job. No issues at all with any kind of mustiness after we opened it up to start the de-winterization process. But now that we're entering into the camping season, I am going to use this. Anytime I'm at home, this gets plugged into the RV. As soon as we get back from the camping trip, this is the first thing that gets plugged in and started up. And I've never had issues with any kind of moisture or musty smell in the RV since we've been using this. So let's go get it set up. So I always set this up on the kitchen counter right here, which is right outside the RV bathroom, and there's a reason for that. On the back side of this is the water reservoir, which what you can do is you don't have to use the hose that I use. You can just pull this hose out and let the water collect in here. And then once it gets full, you just take it outside or dump it down your sink drain or whatever. Now, what we do is I use this water hose that comes with it that's hooked up to this reservoir, and once it reaches a certain level, it drains out, and I run this into the shower down to the floor of the shower so that it can trickle down the drain. Now, we never get a ton of water out of here. It pulls out a good amount, but never enough to fill that gray tank. So it's fine. For the amount of water that comes out of this thing, there's no issue with plugging that in and letting the water go down the drain. But if you're in a situation where you're not going to be camping as frequently as we do, you might want to just let the reservoir fill up and then dump it out whenever it gets full. I highly recommend running a dehumidifier in your RV if you can. I really do think it makes a huge difference. And we all know moisture is the #1 enemy of an RV. All right, this is how I have it set up in the RV on the counter. You can hear it's not very loud. So if you're somebody who lives in your RV full time, this is a nice quiet little dehumidifier for you. It's also small. It doesn't take up a lot of space. And then the hose, I have it running down into the shower so that when it does fill up, it will just come out the end of the hose and go right down the drain. I hope you found today's video to be helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.